Alright, hello everybody, welcome back. It's Carl again. Today I want to talk about a system that I've been working on for some time now. Here's my setup. So I have, I'm down here in the workshop. And this is kind of like my AKA man cave, workshop, whatever you want to call it. And I make my RODI water down here. And then I have one of these 55 gallon, or excuse me, not 55 gallon, like 22 gallon brute cans that I mix my salt water up in. So what I usually do is make RODI water. I keep them in like 5 gallon containers from like drinking water. As you can see there's a couple there that are filled with RODI water, and there's my RODI system. And so I make RODI water, I put it into this container here. I mix it with an extra Aqueon pump to mix the salt together. There's a heater there I heat it with, and then I put it with that pump from this can into those 5 gallon containers and lug them up the steps, and that's a pain in the butt. So I've been wanting to get a pump and pump it from this container up this tube here, which you can see goes into the wall and then out above into the fish tank. So I tried that pump first, didn't work. It's not strong enough. It gets it to, I would say, from the basement here to the ceiling is about 8 feet. So it gets it about 8 feet, and then that's it, no more. So sure, I can go online and buy a huge expensive pump for, you know, over $100, and that'll do it, no problem. But then I have a $100 pump to pump water upstairs, and I'm trying to find a way to do it on the cheap. So went to Harbor Freight, and I bought this bilge pump, and it is a 12-volt bilge pump, unfortunately, but it says that it is 1,000 gallons per hour, 1 1/8 inch discharge port, and 13 foot of head. So I thought, that'd be interesting. I only need to go about 10 feet. 13 feet should be okay. So I went online and was looking at some of the reviews, and they said no, couldn't do it 5 feet. It was too late. I had already bought it, $14 from Harbor Freight. It's worth a shot, right? Okay, great. So here's the setup. Harbor Freight bilge pump. 1 inch clear hose, does fit over top of the 1 1/8 inch discharge port, to a makeshift connector, to 3/8 poly tubing or RO tubing. Usually it's 1/4 inch for RO tubing. This is 3/8. 3/8 tube goes up to the ceiling and then down. Okay, so here's my temporary setup. 12-volt battery from my computer power supply, backup computer power supply, connected to a relay. The only wireless remote that I had easily available was this Christmas timer thing here. Uses one of these little cheap remotes, turns that on and off, and then I have it going into a 24-volt transformer. So it takes the 120 from the plug here, converts it to 12 volts for this relay, which is from an Essex relay for a HVAC system. Coincidentally enough, that's an HVAC transformer. 20 or 12 volt battery powering the 12 volt pump, unfortunately, and that's my setup. So this is just a proof of concept. I know it looks disastrous, and if you don't know how to deal with house voltage or 120 volts AC, be careful. It'll kill you. So you don't want to touch any of these wires. Again, this is just a proof of concept. I want to see if it works. I can turn it on and off from upstairs, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to turn it on. I have this hose here connected upstairs, so I'm going to take you upstairs and show you that it works. I can't believe it, for $14. Now, it's not 1,000 gallons per hour by any stretch of the imagination, but it works, and that's the important thing. So this is just 5 gallons of water, nothing high tech about it. I'll run you upstairs and I'll show you that right now. Okay, right, so I'm upstairs now. Here's my 5 gallon bucket. This is the 3/8 tubing, which comes from downstairs. As you can see, maybe in the corner there is the tube coming out of the wall. Right, so it comes from the bilge pump in the basement, up through the wall, and ultimately what I wanted to do is to drain in here to my sump so that I can refill the fish tank. Now, I haven't tried to see if it'll go up the fish tank and then down in that way, that adds, another 5 feet. At this point, I just want to be able to get to the sump, and then the return pump can pump it back in after the water change. So, here is the system. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to turn it on here, and the water will come out here. So here we go. So there's the button, and there it comes. So let me just move this out of the way. Again, that's not blistering speed, but that's about 10 feet into the air. You see I have a nice big loop, 10 feet into the air, and it's pumping it out fast enough that I don't have to do any more hauling buckets up the steps. So if you guys are looking for an easy solution to do, and this is, you have this similar setup with it's just below you, then go ahead and check that pump out for $14. I don't know how you can go wrong. Again, the only downside to that is that it is 12 volts, so you have to run it off a battery. It says it runs at like 5 amps, so I don't think that I have a transformer big enough, but I'll work on a solution for that in the future. But for now, I can always just run it on the battery, let it pump into the sump, run back downstairs, and then once it's done, I can disconnect the 12 volts, and it'll be done. Alright guys, well, hopefully this is helpful. Thanks for watching. Alright, one final note also. If you leave the hose in that container and you turn your pump off, it's going to siphon back down. So we're going to turn the pump off. I'll take you back downstairs and you'll see it siphoning off. Okay, so it's off now. So I'm going to pull this out of the water, and what will happen is it's going to continue to siphon the water because that line is below that bucket. So that's something to keep in mind when you shut the pump off. You can kind of see the water coming through the clear tube, but it's back siphoning down, and it's going to do that until it breaks the siphon. So just something to keep in mind. Make sure that you don't have that tube below or in the water in your sump. You want it a little above. So just something to keep that in mind.